I realized something now. That's not very good. So if my browser's... my browser's not usually open, but... Okay, whatever. I didn't come in here to talk about that. Let me finish. Let me actually talk about what I wanted to talk about. What is this? Is that a player? Oh wait, that's a player. I thought it was a pet. What is going on there? I don't know what's going on here at all. This is what I wanted to talk about. And look at this. This guy has earned... last time I saw this was 3.55 quintillion. Now it's 3.59 quintillion. So he's earned... He's earned 40 quadrillion. He's earned 40 quadrillion since I made a video about him like 3 days ago. He's earned already 40 quadrillion. Yeah, I think you can see how they're cheaters. I would say so. I would say this guy is the biggest cheater, but let's talk. I wanted to clarify some things. I talked a lot about 4 years, but I need to start talking about dang 1 year and like the lower players, because I called out a lot of people. I know I did. There's a lot of people on this leaderboard, and I think some of these guys actually didn't cheat. I really do. I don't think everyone cheated. I think there's at least someone on this leaderboard that did not cheat. But these 1 quintillion players, like even the 1 quintillion players, and I was correct actually before. I don't even have this much time played on Overwatch. I have only 1.1 years on Overwatch. That's it. I don't even have 1.33 years. So it takes 1.33 years minimum to do it the legit way. And I don't even have that much time on Overwatch, which I've played way more than this game, and it's not even close. It's not even close. I've played more than 10,000 hours, or yeah, probably about 10,000 hours on Overwatch. Actually, maybe less time on Overwatch. Now that I think about it, maybe less time, because I did 10,000 simply because I wanted to try to get everything accounted for. I didn't look at the number. I didn't look at the actual number. I simply did that number because that is a good number. I know the numbers for my heroes. It's about like 6,000 for some of my heroes. Like I know the hero numbers for my exact playtime. So from that, I simply said 10,000 hours. So it's about like 6,000 in total for all my heroes. And then from that, I simply added an extra 4,000 because I don't think it counted everything. I really don't. It didn't count all the fact that I didn't actually like play the hero. It didn't count that in. So it didn't count the time I actually spent in the lobby and all of that. So it's probably near 10,000. And that's not even 1.33 years. And that was 1 quadrillion. That's 1 quintillion. I mean, that's 1 quintillion. 1 quintillion. So that's how long it takes. 1.33 years minimum. Very near that. Very near that. You're not going to change it much. For all these other players, though, yeah, you could do it. I think really 500 quadrillion is too much still. 500 quadrillion is really too much. To get that in this amount of time, it's really not really gonna happen. It's really not gonna happen. I mean, it's very possible. It's possible because depending on when those pets and when those crazy new things got released, then you can do the 1.33 calculation. And then you can say that that's how long it takes to start to get that amount of strength. So these guys, yeah, it's possible. It is possible. Like some of these guys is possible. Like some of these numbers here, like all these guys at the bottom, 30, so that's 100% possible. 62, all these numbers at the bottom, 100%. 100%, 100, we're still in the 100% section where it's like 100 quadrillion, I said before, was getting a bit too much. And yeah, it is a bit too much because a lot of the times people are not going to use that time to do it. And why not cheat instead? So these players are still very likely to be cheating, but I'm saying it's 100% possible from how long the game has been around and probably from how long those pets have been actually in the game. I don't know the exact number for how long they've been in the game. I don't know how long. So I don't know exactly how much time they had for this. So the fact is they could have had more time. They could have had enough time to get some of these numbers. And that's the reason I'm saying that these numbers here could definitely be legit. But when it's so easy to cheat, why not simply do it? And it's, yeah, it is very likely. It is very likely that they cheated. I'm trying to think of other things. That's what I'm doing currently. I need to finish this off because I've been talking about this way too much. And I'm not trying to make it this long, but I simply am not saying what I want to say. Like I said, though, some of these people are actually probably legit, and also some of them, a lot of them are. Well, I don't know about some of them. I can't say some of them because all of them could be cheaters. All of them simply could be less of a cheater. That's all it is. I mean, the top guy, as you know, he's the best cheater. But these guys below, they don't have to be as good of a cheater. That's all it is. They simply don't have to be as good of a cheater, but they could still be cheaters. They could all still be cheaters. So I can't say that some of them have not cheated. I cannot say that. I cannot say that. And it's probably, it's simply not true. You can't say that. You cannot say that. It's simply not true. All of them could be cheaters. But the likely of it, the likely of it is probably very high actually. But the fact is, you can get this type of stuff legitimately. I would say you can get 100 quadrillion legitimately from when the time of release of the new stuff, like the really strong stuff. I would say you can get 100 quadrillion. But once you start getting into the 200 quadrillions, it gets quite stupid. Like, you're not gonna really do this. 300 quadrillion, nah, dude, you're not doing that. All this stuff, I would like. For me to say an exact number for this, it would depend on when exactly those things would release. That's what I'm saying, is when those were released, because like I said, I don't know when they released. I don't know when those pets and when the jungle captain exactly released. So for me to say it, like the exact number, which I think is completely impossible to get past or to get to, I cannot say it. So I'm simply trying to do an estimate. But obviously these people at the top, like the 1 quintillions, like even on my best estimate, it's still not okay. It's not going to happen. 1 quintillion is still too much. But for when you get lower than that, 1 quintillion, I think when you get lower than 1 quintillion, well, I mean, I guess, let's think. Would I say lower than 1 quintillion, or 1 quintillion is too much? Would I say that? It takes 1.33 years. Yeah, it all depends. Really, it all depends on when those pets were released and when those things were released. Because like I said, they improve your statistics by a tremendous amount. Yeah, it really does depend on that. I can't say 100%. Currently, I simply don't know the number or the date it was released. So this is difficult, but I will say the 3.5 quintillion person has to go. And that's the reason I was specifying it so much in my last video. I was saying 4 years, 4 years, 4 years. It's because he was the most obvious. And I was still like trying to consider these other guys because I don't want to make a mistake and say these guys. I don't want to make a mistake and say these guys have cheated when I haven't. And I was trying to consider it. I was trying to do it correctly, but I simply didn't. I kept saying 4 years. I don't know what was going on in my brain. I wasn't trying to say 4 years for the other guys. I was simply trying to say 4 years. Well, I was actually somewhat referencing 4 years to the other people too, but that was a mistake. I should not have been doing that. Because it's not 4 years for those guys. It's less. It's much less. As you can see, 4 years is simply for the highest guy that's cheated, and for these two guys here, and for this guy too. I mean, for these guys with like 2 quintillion, yeah, these guys too. But it's less. It's less. It goes down as you go down. So it goes down to like 3 years. 2.66 years, whatever. It goes down. So yes, I would say some of these things definitely are possible, but some of them are simply impossible. I really 100% believe that the top guy is impossible to get without cheating. At least the top guy is 100% impossible to get without cheating. But like I said, for the other people, for the lower people, it's more difficult to calculate because I simply don't have those. I didn't calculate all these exact numbers for those. I have to simply do an estimate. And also, I still don't know the date of release of the pets. So the fact is, as you go down, it's still like, let's say like this is 0% and this is absolute 0 at the top. And then you have like 0% here, like maybe 0.1% here, or like 0.0001%, and then you go down and go down until you get like maybe 0.1% here, 0.1% here, and then you go down and then you're like here and you're like at 1%. So you're here and you're 1%, and then you go down, you're here and you're 5%, and then you're here and you're like 10% or something like that, and then you're here and you're like 30% or something like that, and then you're here and you're probably like 40%. That he got it legit, or that they could have gotten it legit. I'm not saying okay, that's not for they got it legit. That's not for that. That was for being able to get it legitly. That's what it's for. So 40% I would say, and that's the range. That's the range though. That's the range I would say. Not being, wait, what is the range? The range is based on, not if they did it legitly. Okay, the range is based on how much they can get legitly. That's what I meant to say. How much they can get legitly. That's what the range is based on. That's the reason all these guys are a bunch of zeros. Is because it's unlikely, it's very unlikely from how long the game has been around and also from how long the pets have been around. Even though I don't know the exact dates, I know that they're not an insane amount of time so that it would change the calculation by a lot. I know it isn't. And so my numbers are correct. I think I'm done now. I think I'm done now. I think I'm done. So 0 to 40%. So for it being possible to get it. Yeah. For it being done the legit way. For it being legitly possible, I mean. Not done the legit way, I mean legitly possible. These numbers simply don't make sense. A lot of them don't. And the chances are they cheated. The chances are they actually cheated. Let's be real, the chances are that they actually cheated. Because why not? Why not? They weren't getting banned. A lot of cheaters were not getting banned, so why not simply cheat? And it makes sense. It really does. These top players are still the top players. They're still the top players. So the fact is they probably cheated. They probably used the best way to get the most strength. And that way is cheating. I'm done now.